current stretch that you're on right now, when you look back at that you endured something similar to this, can as a team lean on this knowing we've been through this before, we've gone through this same thing?
I think it's a different situation, but I mean, you draw on everything from from your entire season. So yeah, you draw on on all the experiences a little bit, but I think this is a little bit different. I think guys are really just focused on on what the next challenge is. Guys' focus is on what's ahead, and you get to this time of year. That's a really important thing and a real important trait to have. So, we came out of yesterday with no points. Our battle level on a back-to-back and our work ethic was very good. We looked at the things that we can do better, some of the things that we can clean up to help us come out of that game with points. And then we've gotten our focus squarely on Winnipeg tomorrow.
With Jake said, I think at the start of the losing streak, the first game, that he had noticed some little details that maybe were getting missed at the end of the point streak, but because the team's winning, you kind of don't focus on them as much as you'd want to. Have you seen those details getting cleaned up as this has progressed? Even though obviously the results haven't been there, but last night was a pretty solid game all around for the team. Yeah,
that typically happens when you're going through a stretch where you haven't lost. Sometimes you can over-magnify that statement, but we haven't got results here the last couple of days, so that has a way of sharpening the focus on all the details. And I think yesterday we were a good step in the right direction there. But like I said, we addressed today some of the things that we have to and can do better to go along with what was a good effort. Sometimes to get that first win coming out of the tough stretch, you really have to be good, and that's our focus for going into a game tomorrow. We gotta look at all the little things that we can do a little bit better.
With Sean Couturier, I was looking at his numbers. He's averaging nearly 24 minutes this month. I know it's just a small sample size, but considering that this is kind of uncharted territory in terms of minutes and how much responsibility he's had, how do you think he's holding up? I don't see anything defensively that in his game, but just in terms of the minutes he's logging.
Yeah, I think 24 is a little bit, that's a little bit too much. That's skewed a little bit. There was one game where he ended up, he had 28 minutes, and we played on a back-to-back the very next day, and he played outstanding that next day. He was one of the players that had the most energy, I thought, in that back-to-back game. Some of those minutes are sometimes are dictated by the amount of specialty teams. So sometimes you have to look within the numbers. The amount of 5-on-5 time versus PK time. PK time are hard minutes. When those numbers get high on the penalty kill side, PP minutes, again, they're maybe not quite as hard of minutes as the others, but in a big picture sense, 24 as an average is pretty high. I think we don't want to be at that level consistently over a long stretch, but he's handled them very well up till now. There's been no drop off in his game or in his performance. In fact, I think he thrives on those extra minutes.
What was your evaluation of Matt Reed's game now you've had a chance to look at the tape? Obviously, he hasn't been in the lineup for quite a while at the NHL level.
Yeah, I thought Reeder did the job that we asked him to do. We asked him to go out there and be a really reliable two-way forward, and I think that's Reeder as a veteran. We know that he's capable of doing that, and I thought he did his job. And at this time of year, it's about asking guys to go out, play their specific role. However large a role it may be, to go out and play it and play that role well. And I thought he did that yesterday.
You see anything with the power play that is close? I know when 5-on-5 the numbers aren't there. You hope that the power play can sort of pick up the slack.
Well, I thought yesterday we won the specialty teams battle, and that's what you want to do when you go in on the road. That's a good place to start. That should give you a chance to win the game, and obviously we had a good opportunity to win that game yesterday. So I thought yesterday both sides of our specialty teams did their job. We got one on the PP, and the PK did a good job. So in terms of specifically the power play, you know, we've played some teams that have come at us with high pressure, especially on, you know, on the half wall. 2 of the last 3 games, so you know that it's an adjustment to make sure that we have the right outlets, not just 1 or 2 outlets. You have to, you know, you should have 3 outlets to alleviate that pressure off the wall. So you know that's the one area that you know that we've addressed, and you know as long as we're getting that puck off the yellow and getting it with eyes up, our power play is gonna make things happen.